Okay, welcome back everybody. I get a lot of questions about my car all the time, so I just wanted to do a quick rundown of what the car is, what it's about, what it's going to be used for, and just kind of do a quick Q&A of all the things that I've heard, all the questions that I've heard over time, why you do this like this and so on and so forth. So real quick, it's a 90 model Mustang Coupe, which you probably haven't seen the whole thing in a video, other than just maybe some quick shots, kind of similar to what you're seeing here. It's a 25.5 car, so meaning it has the funny car style cage in it, and not just a 6 or an 8 or a 10 point that a lot of people typically refer to. It's going to be a no prep car. It's not going to be a class car, so you're not liable to see me talking about ETs anywhere in any of these videos other than maybe how much power it makes or anything like that. The reason for that is that a lot of people that grudge race, they just simply don't discuss times. You don't want to tell the guy what you run and then go try to run it for a few dollars. So having given that explanation, the rundown of the car, again, it's 25.5, it's a full cage, everything done here. 90 model Mustang Coupe. It's mini tubbed. It still has the 8.8 rear end in it, which you're probably going to see in a video coming up here pretty quick. It has 35 spline axles, strange disc brakes all the way around. It's going to be fiberglass dash, which you've probably seen. Obviously air to water intercooled. Throttle body located in the car. That's question number one. Why'd you put the throttle body in the car? Well, the reason why it's in the car is it's a 105 millimeter throttle body. And if you've seen the intake elbow that's on the top of the intake manifold, it's kind of big and it's close to the firewall. The throttle body would fit there, but it would require just a gigantic hole in the firewall that would be right up against the clamp, and it just simply wouldn't be fun to work on. No, there's no adverse effects to it. There's no reason other than room. The engine doesn't care where the throttle blade is at. So having said that, that's why. That's the main reason. To go a little further, it is going to be controlled by Mega Squirt or by MS3 Pro. A lot of people ask why. Well, why not? The best I can say is that the fuel for my fire to run something like that is because everybody says, wow, that's junk, that's cheap, that's inexpensive, it can't work, and every kind of excuse I've heard under the sun. That's all the reason I need to want to try something, because when somebody says it's not going to work, then I think it will, and I'm going to do it. Does it always work? No, absolutely not. Have I been wrong before? Oh yeah, absolutely. So to go a little further, now that we've covered electronics, it's going to run on E85, 85% ethanol. I'm going to buy it out of the pump right down the street from the house. No particular reason other than it's very, very cheap compared to race gas, which in some cases is $16, $18, and $20 a gallon. It's a lot more appealing to pay around $2 a gallon and use about 30% more fuel buying E85. But with that comes some supply and demand issues. A lot of electric fuel pumps will not keep up with that demand when it's running in excess of 17, 18, 1900 horsepower, which is about what this thing made before in the other car. So some people say, well, that offsets the cost of running the cheap fuel. You know, you got to have so much more fuel pumps, so much more injectors, so much more everything. That's true, it does. But I've parted out a couple of cars. I had a bunch of parts sitting on the shelf, and everything just kind of came together. I had the fuel pumps already. I had most of the fuel line and fittings. I had just about everything you could think of to make it happen. So it was the best selection I could think of budget-wise to do that. The only difference is that I had 8 160-pound injectors in this engine in my other car, and it ran on gasoline, ran 85% duty cycle, I think, at around 48 psi base fuel pressure. So what I did was I sold those 160-pound injectors, which nearly paid for a set of the 210s, but it has 16 210-pound injectors in it. The cool thing about Megasquirt is that you can stage those injectors much like any aftermarket fuel injection system. So it's going to run sequentially on 8 injectors, particularly the ones that are in the runners, at low engine speeds and whatnot. And when we go to tune the car, it's going to be set up in a manner that all 16 injectors are actually flowing before you let go of the trans brake. That kind of keeps you from having to deal with any kind of air-fuel ratio issues, stumbling, anything like that, because all 16 injectors are already running. It's a standard issue power glide. This one is a dead and bare case power glide with a 180 straight cut planetary set in it and a PTC torque converter. It has stainless steel 1 3/4 headers, 1 3/4 to 3-inch collectors, also stainless steel. It has a built-in V-band assembly, or the V-band assembly has a reducer built into it where it drops the crossover pipe down to 2.5 inches. Why did you do that? Well, I did that because at some point, if I want to experiment and go up to a 3-inch crossover, I don't have to change the collector on the header. It already has a 3-inch ring on it. The other side, that's the 2.5 now, actually has a cone built into the ring. So all I need to do is get the right ring for the 3-inch and put it on the 3-inch collector, and then just redo the crossover. The car has a full fiberglass front end. It has optic armor windows front and rear and in the sides, which the doors aren't on it right now, so you can't see that. And I think that pretty much covers the majority of the big stuff for the car. Okay, that's pretty much the rundown of the car. As far as the engine and transmission and everything is concerned, the cage. In some later videos, we're going to come up and explain the fuel system and some of the wiring and electronics also. So be sure to stay tuned, like and subscribe, and the videos are going to get better and better and better. And hopefully before too long, you're actually going to see some dyno videos and some racing videos, in-car and everything. So again, thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you back in the next videos.